artist gets some sort of retribution.
Yeah, got it.
Terry Funk defeats Norman Smiley and Ralphus to retain the hardcore title in about 10 minutes. It's actually just a pretty fun match. Hello and welcome to the two-man power trip of wrestling, the latest podcast. I'm your host, JP John Paz. With me today, of course, the former WCW head writer, the former WWF head writer, the former WCW World Heavyweight Champion, Mr. Vince Russo. Vince, how you doing?
What is going on, John? Top of the morning to you, bro.
Yes, same to you. So last time we were covering Arquette winning the world title, WCW Thunder. We've covered Spring Stampede. How vital is Eric Bischoff to you as far as your creative when you return to WCW? Because Spring Stampede was a success. 115K was way up, as far as the buy rate. How vital is he creatively or not at all to your success as far as creative?
Not at all. Absolute zero. He was, and that's what initially led to the breakup, because he was playing the role of Monday morning quarterback. And I didn't need a Monday morning quarterback. And that's kind of what led to the blow up, which kind of led to Bash at the Beach.
So whose idea is it for Arquette to wrestle, just in general, him to be out there, him wrestling, him to have whose idea?
I'm writing the show. Eric at this point is, that first show, like I said, bro, we met together. I think we met at, the offices. I think that's where we met, I believe. And we worked on all that stuff together. After that, it was less and less and less Eric. And like I said, bro, I do want to say something to his defense. Again, I have no idea what Brad Siegel told him the roles were. I have no idea what he thought in his head the roles were. I just want to repeat that. But after that initial creative session, he kind of started acting like he was my boss. And that's when I started having a problem.
When you look at it, did the movie studio with Ready to Rumble, did they want Arquette to be out there?
No,
and
not at all.
Didn't.
Not at all. No. They had nothing to do with it. Not at all.
So they didn't suggest that maybe, hey, we're promoting Ready to Rumble, we're promoting this movie, let's have Arquette be there, and no?
Not at all. Nope.
And obviously he's a huge fan, so that kind of
he was
a huge fan. Yeah.
Huge fan, very, very, like I said, I think I said this before, very respectful to the boys, very respectful to the business. Yeah.
Now, the main event for this show is a triple threat, but it's not only that, a triple cage. So it's Jarrett versus Arquette, who's the world champion, versus DDP. Why a triple cage? Why did you feel that was necessary? Just to maybe pump up some interest, or why would you go with
that cage? Because, bro, that was the cage used in the movie. And it was so spectacular. Like, to me, it would have been an absolute waste to have never used that cage. I mean, that cage was so freaking awesome. That cage cost a lot of money. To never use it on a show, I just thought would have been an enormous waste of money.
Gotcha. So let's do a little fantasy booking for the Larry Legend here. If DDP had still been WCW champion as planned before Arquette, remember we were talking about last week how if Arquette was in the picture, DDP would be champion right now. Would you have kept it on him, or would you still want him to lose it to Jarrett? Like, would you keep him, giving him a long run, or do you like losing the title and kind of going back and forth with Jarrett?
Bro, there were never, like I said, bro, the way I booked and the way I wrote, there were never plans like, okay, Paige is going to have the belt till this day and then he's going to drop it. It wasn't like that, bro. Everything was organic. I always tell you, John, all the time, and I'll tell the same thing to Larry Legend. Bro, the show writes itself if you let it. You got to go with it, man. You just got to organically go with it, and the show will write itself. And so, like, there were no plans. Just like when, the idea was when Brett got hurt and everybody got hurt, we were going to put the belt on Tank Abbott. I didn't know where that was going to go, bro. We let the viewers dictate the show. And that's what you get, bro. When you study the ratings, they're telling you what they like and what they don't like, and you just go with that. It's really that simple.
So Larry was saying this too, and I totally agree. And we've talked about this before. The Billy Kidman Hogan feud, it sucks. I mean, I just for Hogan, and I know it could help Billy or whatever. But let's just say that doesn't happen. Hogan doesn't make the flea market comment like this. Who else should have feuded with Hogan? Like, who would you have wanted in that spot instead of Kidman, or really who should have been in that spot instead of Kidman?
I think it would have been more of like just Hogan against the world. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like when he had that vest, FUNB. I think it would have been more of Hogan versus everybody. I think that's what it would have done. The only reason it was Kidman was because of those comments. If it wasn't Kidman, I can't think of anybody, individually, but it would have been like just the odds so stacked against him.
Mike Awesome would have been a decent fit. I know he's kind of feuding with Nash at this point a little bit too, but just because Hogan likes him because he's technically was related to him. So I think that would have been, and obviously he's a big dude too.
Yeah. No, I liked Mike Awesome a lot. So yeah, that could have definitely been a possibility. I don't think, it's funny though, bro. I don't think Eric was really that high on Mike Awesome, and I'm not really sure why. I think Awesome did lack a little bit of personality, man. I don't think he had a lot of charisma, but he definitely was a big guy that looked good.
Yeah, definitely. I would always love Scott Steiner versus Hogan, but now all this stuff is coming out that they hated each other for years. So is that why politically they didn't want to wrestle each other?
Nah, I don't think I even got to the point of finding that out. I didn't know that when I was there, bro. I had no idea.
Because to me, that would be like the ultimate thing. Steiner beats him and kind of, takes his spot kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like he becomes the next guy, if you will, by beating Hogan. And I guess Hogan never really wanted to work with him.
Yeah, I would also think if Scott didn't like Hogan, then Hogan probably didn't like Scott, and he probably would not have done that.
Right. Gotcha. All right, so let's get into the show here. But before we do that, I got to mention this Battle Royal on Thunder. I don't know if you remember this huge Battle Royal with arguably the biggest names in the history of the business are in this. Ric Flair ends up winning this. He eliminates Shane Douglas last. But Macho Man, Hogan, and Macho Man is a surprise appearance in this thing. So I remember watching this guy with my friends when we were younger, thinking like, oh, what, like there's so many guys in this, everybody we know, and these new guys, and it was so cool. It was just on a random Thunder, and then all of a sudden, Macho Man comes out and cleans house the new blood. It's like, man, this is cool. Like, what the hell? So what was going on with Macho? Is there a possibility of him coming back, or is this this is really his last appearance? But is this like one final date in your contract type of thing?
Yeah, probably, bro. I like the more and more, like when I look at that, bro, I think what happened that a lot of people don't understand is when the WWE, when we came back in the ratings and Eric Bischoff was let go, I think WCW, Brad Siegel really started to eliminate those big contracts. I think once Bischoff was gone, once they weren't doing the numbers, they needed to eliminate money. And again, bro, I say that because that was part of the problem with the Bash at the Beach story, was that Brad Siegel told me after Bash at the Beach not to contact Hogan because he couldn't afford to pay him. So I'm sure if Savage's contract was up or whatever, they were not going to renew those contracts at that price.
So it's more like dollars and cents. Hey, we're not making as much money. We're not doing as well. WWF obviously is hot right now. They're kicking ass. Thanks in part to you, by the way. Thanks. Yeah. You on the other channel. Yeah, that is something to me that always baffles me.
Yeah, if anybody knows me, like, bro, the freaking last guy I'm going to get rid of is Randy Savage. I mean, come on, man. There wasn't a bigger Randy Savage mark on the planet than me. But I think as soon as Eric was released, they started looking at salary. No doubt.
It just always kind of baffles me. It's like, man, if you have so many guys making so much money, how do you make a profit? And obviously, different organizations today, you can kind of say that. But WCW was like, oh my God, Luger's making so much money. Sting's making so much money. Sid was making so much money. Macho Man, Hogan, Flair. When you're rocking and rolling, it's great. But when you're not doing so good, it's like, oh my God, I got to dump some salary here.
Yeah, no, and that's exactly what happened, bro. It caught up with them. I mean, that's exactly what happened. All that payroll caught up with them. They weren't doing the same numbers, and they just were not renewing contracts.
it's crazy that if you just look at that Thunder Battle Royal, how many every big name ever is in there,
Yeah.
including Macho Man randomly. But it was kind of like the unpredictability of WCW at this point. Like you never knew who's going to show up. Remember we talked about a few weeks ago, Mero shows up out of nowhere, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Yep.
So you never know who's going to show up. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, me too. I like that too, bro. If guys are available, use them. I love that.
But then it's dollars and cents. You can't really sign them to long-term deals, or maybe if their deal's up, don't re-sign them just because you're not doing as well. So the commentators for Slamboree are going to be Mark Madden, Scott Hudson, and Shivani. So a little bit of a change-up. You're throwing Hudson into the mix. Any specific reasons why you want to change up? You just want a different announce crew as far
who
as
did he replace?
So Bobby the Brain is gone. So there's no more, Bobby the Brain, which is where Madden was. But really, Tenay was kind of doing a lot of the commentating with Shivani and Madden. So it's like you're almost replacing Hudson with Tenay, or vice versa.
I don't know, bro. Bro, honestly, I can't tell you. Again, I don't know if that was a dollars and cents move. I really don't. But I mean, I like all those guys, John. So I wouldn't have replaced the Tenay with Scott Hudson because I like Scott Hudson better than Tenay. I liked all those guys. I mean, I really, really did. So I don't remember at all, bro. I don't remember at all.
So Tenay will kind of go backstage duties, which Hudson was doing before. It was almost like they flip-flopped just a bit, or like exchanging roles.
Yeah. I don't remember why we did that.
Another thing I noticed on commentary, and I won't talk about during the show because we'll talk about the show, but this happens during the show. Whenever Madden is talking about DDP, and I didn't notice it at the time, I thought it's like your typical Bobby Heenan saying, "Oh, Hogan's a jerk, and I don't trust this guy," like that kind of stuff. He goes, "DDP used to take out Bischoff's garbage. He was his next door neighbor. He goes, he would do anything to kiss his ass." And he goes, and then while he's taking out his garbage, he gets in his ear about how he should be on TV and Dick Kimberly should be on TV. And I'm thinking to myself, as I'm listening back, I'm like, wow, he's literally just, this makes no sense to the storyline. He's just tearing this guy apart. It's not a heel ripping on a babyface. He's calling him DD me. He's the most selfish guy in the business. I was like, wait a second. He's kind of, I don't know, maybe overstepping, you think, a little bit on commentary? You don't even pay attention to that stuff.
Nah, bro, I never watched the show back. So I don't even hear the commentary. I don't even know what he's saying. But yeah, bro, that definitely sounds to me like it was a shoot. I know Madden wasn't a big fan of Page for whatever reason. Maybe Page buried Madden to Eric. I mean, I don't know. I don't know exactly why. But yeah, bro, that definitely sounds to me like he was shooting on him.
That's funny though. He's talking about how he's Bischoff's neighbor. I was like, what? That's not wrestling. What are you What's he doing? And he keeps calling him, instead of DDP, DD me. He was the most selfish guy in wrestling. DD me.
Yeah, he always used to call him that all the time, from what I remember. Yeah.
So it is literally a shoot. He's not working. He's literally a shoot.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So WCW Slamboree 2000 is what we're covering, which was on May 7th, Kansas City, Missouri, at the Kemper Arena. The attendance, 7,165. The pay-per-view buys way down, though, only 65K versus last month, which was 115K. What do you think about that? Big dip.
Well, what month is this?
This is May.
Yeah, it just, bro, like I said, a lot of that had to do with what the WWE pay-per-view was. A lot of it. I mean, there was a lot of correlation to our pay-per-view number based on theirs. I mean, if they had a big card, again, bro, we talked about this. You paid big money for pay-per-views back then. And a lot of times, man, especially if you were a kid, you got to choose between the two. So if they've got a really hot match or a really hot angle, it's going to be the WWE.
We did. I would order WCW. My friend would order WWF because we weren't allowed to order both. So, that's how we did it. But I don't know other people. Obviously, maybe it's not the same thing. So here's the thing about that, and I was looking this up just so I could figure out why that was so low. The week before is WWF Backlash. So April 30th is Backlash. The week before. So it's not like it's a month apart or weeks apart. I mean, it's the week before. The 650,000.
There you go. Yeah.
With the Stone Cold return. Remember, Stone Cold came back and beat up the McMahons and the Rock and stuff. So
yeah. I'm not making excuses. I mean, that's like, bro, I swear to God, you'll always hear, Meltzer. You'll always hear all of them say, "Oh, when Vince came in, pay-per-views buys went down." Yeah, bro, for exactly the reason I'm saying. I left the WWE when the WWE was red hot. And if you can only choose, like you said, between the two, bro, you're going to go with the red hot product. I mean, again, bro, that's just logic and common sense. So that does not surprise me at all.
Austin beating up Triple H and McMahon, man, not The Rock. He's actually helping the Rock. But yes, so Stone Cold returns 650,000.
Yeah,
Not
it's
only
awesome.
that, they have a pay-per-view a few weeks later, Judgment Day. Undertaker returns 420,000 buys. So, I mean, obviously that's the difference between probably Undertaker and Austin. Austin's a god, and Undertaker's,
Right.
demigod, like close.
Yeah.
But I mean, you hear Austin's coming back. Yeah, I'm probably
Yeah,
getting,
absolutely.
that pay-per-view. Yes.
Absolutely. No doubt. And I'm sure they promoted it out the yin yang. I mean, absolutely no doubt.
I mean, 650,000 bucks for pay-per-view, that's like WrestleMania worthy. You know what I mean? Like that for a secondary April random pay-per-view, that's
And
huge.
bro, it's so funny when you talk about those numbers, because I always talk about this every single year, bro. The Monday after WrestleMania is the biggest TV show of the year, because you're going to have a huge audience. You know it.
Yeah.
And especially this year, because people assume The Rock wasn't at WrestleMania. He's going to be on the next night. So,
Right.
bro, they did a big number. That show did not deliver at all. Bro, they lost 500,000 people the next week on Netflix. 500,000 people. So
Crazy.
I'm just pointing that out, bro, because we're talking about a lot of people. 650,000 at this pay-per-view, losing 500,000 viewers in a week. Like, this is a lot of people, bro. It really is.
Got to be honest, though, just to quickly mention something current, the John Cena stuff is a huge misstep and a huge mistake and a huge blunder creatively with Triple H. I don't care if The Rock, I know he didn't show up when that kind of ruined it, but man, you're Triple H, you got to think of something to get out of that rut. And the Cena stuff is killing them right now. To be honest, it's not good. He's just been terrible. I know they're trying to save with Orton, but how could Orton carry this guy? Guy can barely move. So I don't know. It's
bro.
It's not going to be good.
I can only imagine, bro, how bad it would be if it wasn't Cena trying to pull it off. You know what I mean, bro? Because Cena is like, bro. We talk about this all the time in wrestling, John. You know it. You make chicken salad out of chicken shit.
Yep.
Cena is doing everything humanly possible, man. If it were somebody else, I don't know what this would look like. But Cena obviously is trying to make sense out of something that makes no sense. But they've got the right guy doing it. There would be no better guy doing it than him,
Yep. So as far as Slamboree is concerned, the logo of WCW, we see the intro. They showed the WCW Thunder Battle Royal that we talked about with Macho Man. Ric Flair wins it. He's going to become, quote unquote, the number one contender. So he's going to have a future title shot in his grasp. It says at Great American Bash. That doesn't happen, but he does have one before then. So he kind of, it does make sense. He does win. He does get a title shot. So then they showed the Millionaires Club rolling up in a big bus. They got all their guys coming in. Then they show the New Blood in the locker room looking on. Then we go to the pay-per-view opening video package, and we're all set for the pay-per-view. So as we're setting up this pay-per-view, obviously still going strong with the Millionaires Club and the New Blood. You feel confident of where you are creatively with those two factions?
Yeah, no, absolutely, I do. Yeah. Again, like I said, bro, because we talked about this before, John. We talked about organically the way this was originally laid out. The New Blood were going to be the baby faces, but
right, you would think, right? Yeah.
Obviously, the crowd had different ideas, and that's why I'm saying that's why it's got to be organic, loosey goosey, and just go with it, man.
So the first matchup is Chris Candido defending the Cruiserweight Championship against the Artist, formerly known as Prince Ikea. Candido's got Tammy Lynn Sitch, Sonny, and Artist has Paisley. Tammy actually cuts a promo to start off the show. Got some good heat. She's not looking, the same as she did in WWF when she was the most downloaded woman in the world. Arguably, maybe the most attractive woman in the world, too, at that point. Not looking the same. So obviously there's some wear and tear, maybe a little bit of, some extracurricular activity going on. But Chris Candido defeats the Artist to retain the championship. The match goes just about 8 minutes to start the show. It's actually a pretty good match. Nothing crazy. The finish gets like a little wonky. Like the ref, it seemed like called for it early, and even Shivani was like, "No, he kicked out," and it did look like he kicked out, so it was weird. And then the ref was like, "Screw it," so he just kept going, and then they did the finish. So I was like, "Wow, that almost seemed like a little bit of a screw up with the ref," but that would probably maybe degraded it a little bit wise.
Yeah.
But Candido wins. Is that where you want to be? Him getting a bunch of heat and Candido beating.
Yeah, again, not knowing that they weren't going to be there long, that obviously wasn't the plan. But yeah, I mean, Chris, Chris was a great guy. I mean, bro, if you're a good person, that's going to carry a lot of weight with me, like it really is. And Chris was a good guy, man.
Hell of a wrestler. Love Candido. He was awesome. New Jersey boy too, so extra love for him, for me. So then we have the Hardcore Championship up next. Terry Funk versus Norman Smiley and a mystery man. Who's the mystery man? Ralphus, the legend.
Yeah.
How did Ralphus get back introduced into WCW like for you?
Because I don't know why they stopped using him. But I had seen Ralphus in the shows that I watched, and I thought he was freaking great. I thought he was entertaining. I thought he was hilarious. I probably saw him hanging around backstage one day, because I think he worked on the crew or something. He had a job there. So I probably saw him and was like, why did we stop using Ralphus? You know what I mean? I just thought that was a great character.
It's so funny. I read online that who knows, because online, if this is true or not, they said Ralphus had an ego. Is that true at all? It sounds so made up.
Not to me. I mean, I never had to deal with a Ralphus ego, man. I mean, maybe he did to other people. I never saw that.
But just the way he carried himself on TV, what would be the ego? He's literally like kind of making fun of himself. Pretty
much, yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
Like taking his teeth out and being like all goofy and stuff.
Bro,
like
what about Becky taking a shot at your boy, and I had to go on shows and defend your boy?
Who?
Becky, Hogan.
What is she saying?
She called Hogan the scummiest person on the planet.
Oh God, come on!
And I had to defend.
So was she cloud chasing like Shelton Benjamin, aka Benjamin Shelton? Cloud chasing? What the hell's going on?
Bro, did I ever tell you about the wonton?
No. What?
Oh my God, this was my favorite thing, bro. So, bro, you know, I mean, you've been around him and interviewed him enough and all that shit. You know what Hulk's thing always was. When he got excited, his eyes got real big. Oh, brother, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yep.
So we're at a creative meeting in TNA, a production meeting, and we're talking about Jeff Hardy, this, that, and the other thing. We're laying out a match in an angle, and Hogan's eyes get real big, and he goes, "Oh, brother, yeah." And then he goes to the top rope, and then he hits him with that wonton. Bro, like everybody in that room like is looking at each other like biting their lip, just trying. I do that all the time, but I do it on my own shows. he does it in public all the time, bro. Butchers something all the time.
Oh, yeah, that's great. Benjamin Shelton. I don't know. I hate when the wrestlers say, because they're trying to get over with the internet marks, or like just bury Hogan for no reason. Oh, yeah. I know he said the wrong name, so Benjamin was pissed, but come on, man. Like, relax.
Yeah, I'm like that too. I can't stand when people feed into that audience. I can't stand it, bro.
If Hogan never existed, Becky Lynch, and even well, maybe not Benjamin. Benjamin probably do MMA or something, but where would Becky Lynch be?
Absolutely, 1,000%, 1,000%, bro.
Brother, if it wasn't for Hulk Hogan, Eric Bischoff would be still selling meat out of a truck in Minneapolis. Okay, remember that awesome line? So come on, who knows who these people would be without the Hulkster? Hate the disrespect. Oh, I want to mention about Sunny. She got stripped of her clothes by Paisley afterwards, and they ran away like at the end. So kind of he wins, but they make a fool out of her. Going out. So the artist gets some sort of retribution.
Yeah, got it.
Terry Funk defeats Norman Smiley and Ralphus to retain the hardcore title in about 10 minutes. It's actually just a pretty fun match. I don't know what it is about Norman. I just like, if you could say, oh, it's not good wrestling, whatever. I'm just entertained by all like the silliness, and he's in the bathroom, and he's hiding out, and Funk's got to find him, and Funk's calling him a piece of crap, and like it's just entertaining to me.
I guarantee you, bro, I swear to God, to me, this is the most important thing. I guarantee you those guys had a blast laying out that match. I
Right.
guarantee you they had a ball laying out that match and doing that match with each other.
And the thing is, too, on commentary, which is interesting, they keep saying like that Blood really wants the hardcore title, are not able to get it from Funk. So it's really kind of making Funk look like, man, this old guy, he's so tough. Like even the new guys can't keep up with him
Yeah.
in his own like element. You can't beat him. So you're
And
really
that's
giving Funk.
believable. And that is freaking believable. He's a crazy, crazy, crazy old man. That's absolutely believable.
You are giving him a nice little not push per se, but nice, little jolt. Like he can't beat him kind of thing in hardcore wrestling. So David Arquette arrives, but he's by himself. Is this the tease of something later on to come? He's in he's but by himself. Mean Gene comes up and interviews him, and he's kind of acting maybe a little bit Hollywood-esque, maybe a little heelish here, that he arrived by himself in a big limo. I thought that wasn't, it's just getting to his head a little bit here that he's the champ.
Yeah. It's great to have a professional actor, though. You know what I'm saying, bro? It is great to work with a professional actor because he's going to get the story across, whatever it is, So that's awesome.
He really is kind of showing right here that, wait, what's going on here? He's by himself. He doesn't want to be with like anybody else. He's got his own limo. He's getting a little full of himself, it seems like. Even Mean Gene's kind of calling him out on it. You get a little full of yourself here, David.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Little hint of maybe what's later to come. Are you dropping a breadcrumb there for
I guess so. I mean, I don't remember what's to come, so I'm sitting on
okay. Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, bro. So yeah.
Next up, Perfect Sean. Sean Stasiac defeats Curt Hennig in 8 minutes. It was an okay match, but it was weird. It was just like a clean win for Stasiac. Was this just a kind of not, get rid of Hennig, but it's really for Hennig's job just to get this guy over, because it's basically a clean finish here with the Stasiac win.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if that's how Curt Hennig laid it out. You know what I mean, bro? Curt Hennig was not a me, myself, and I type of dude. And Stasiac, bro, he was a nice guy. He was a little bit out there, but he really was a nice guy. If Perfect and Stasiac got along and stuff, and Curt liked him, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the match he wanted to lay out. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, it was just I obviously saw this pay-per-view 20 years ago, but I was rewatching. It was just like surprised, like, wow, I don't remember him beating him clean like that. It's like, wow, really put him over.
It is a little bit of a surprise, but again, bro, you look at what Stasiac looked like, you look at the age difference. Yeah. This is definitely Kurt's latter years. I mean, to me, that makes sense.
Yeah, Stasiac, my God, he looks like like the Incredible Hulk or something. He's jacked. He's huge.
Yeah.
So then we have something that was online recently because of, like 25 years ago, this happened, and people were not happy about this. General Rection comes to the ring, aka Hugh Morris. He says, Bischoff gave me the name Hugh Morris. That name's a joke. I'm not Hugh Morris. I will never be called that again. I have a new name, and the Misfits of Action, they're all at ringside with him, but he says, I got a new name, and that new name is General Rection, or Captain Rection, excuse me. He doesn't become General yet. Eventually becomes General. So Captain Rection, Hugh G. Rection. What is this? What is going on here?
It's awesome, John. See that's why, like, I can't stand wrestling marks. I swear to God, I can't stand wrestling marks, bro. They're the stupidest people on the face of the planet. Because
you wanted him to be General right away, General Rection. Is that
no? Obviously, what I'm trying to do is keep these guys jobs. That's obviously what I'm trying to do. That is the goal here. There's a misfits. There's a misfits in action, because you got a lot of really good guys and good people that I'm trying to keep on television. That's what everybody misses. Like, that's the bottom line, bro. That's why we're doing this, to keep these guys on television, to keep their jobs. They're all good guys. They're all, like Dutch would say, good little hands. That's what's behind this. And that's who wrestling marks are. They'll never see that in a million years. All they know is the name. Okay, bro. Well, if that's what you want to base it on whatever you want, man. I'm trying to keep these guys employed.
That's one of those things when it actually happened. I'm just like, it's kind of funny, whatever. But they're misfits in action. They're not supposed to be like super serious, if you will, yet.
Right.
Eventually, you know, he'll be build a mod and, you know, and he'll be more serious, but it's not like he's supposed to be like this deadly serious character,
It's
right?
I mean, bro, it's I hate to say it, but it's the job squad. I mean, that's exactly what it is. Without a shadow of a doubt, it's the misfits of the business. That's exactly what it is.
it is easy to go back 25 years later and be like, oh, look at this clip. He's huge erection. This is so
Yeah,
immature. This is so
yeah,
Russo, right?
yeah. And it is so Russo. And okay, I don't have a problem with that.
Right. Right. So he actually, General Rection, will fill in. Booker T is quote unquote injured. So it's supposed to be Booker T versus Scott Steiner here, but General Rection's going to fill in and get a United States title shot against Scotty Steiner. Just going to throw this one out there for you. So as I'm watching this, I remember I used to love Shakira and Medeja, but man, I really love Medeja. My God, she's great. With Steiner especially, I love the fact that I know there's always like pretty women in wrestling, but I love that he's got two really pretty women with him, and he's Scott Steiner, and he's got, you know, the guns. I know it just adds to Steiner that, like, man, this guy's pulling these women out of nowhere. He's got the U.S. title. He's jacked. It just makes him even cooler to me. It just fits in perfectly. Big Papa
She
Pump.
was God, she was beautiful. I'm
Yeah.
not talking body. I'm not talking anything like that. I'm talking facially. She was
Yes.
beautiful
Yep.
girl.
Yep. I love Shakira, but Medeja is definitely my favorite. She was the best. So Scotty Steiner retains his championship. He beats General Rection 9 minutes, 30 seconds. Again, pretty good match. I mean, so far, you know, maybe Stasiac Henning wasn't that great, but so far the wrestling has actually been pretty good. But what happens afterwards is after Steiner wins, he won't let go of the Steiner recliner. So he's really kind of being a big time heel. So the Misfits jump the guardrail. Obviously, Loco, who's Chavo, Lash LaRue, who's Corporal Cajun, Van Hammer. You know, you get them all jumping to help the general here, to help him from Steiner, because Steiner's out of control. The refs can't stop him. R&B security, Russo and Bischoff security, run down. They start brawling with them. Booker T runs out and beats up Scotty Steiner to get him to, you know, basically let go, and he makes the save. So what do you think about all this? A lot going on here.
Well, yeah, I mean, so I'm assuming it's going to Booker and Scott, and we couldn't go there because he was hurt. Yeah, no, I'm cool with that, bro. You know, you want to hear a frightening story, man. Bill DeMott would tell me years later, and I had no idea, bro. During this time, he had suffered so many concussions, bro, that actually in the middle of a match, bro, he lost his eyesight. He literally, yeah, bro, I had no idea till like 20 years after the fact. He literally lost his eyesight during a match. And I was like, oh my God, bro. I told nobody. I had no idea he was in that kind of shape.
Wow. Damn.
Yeah.
Didn't even notice like some of this. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
I remember listening to a Nigel, this is like years later for Ring of Honor, but Nigel McGuinness was talking about how he got concussed in a match. So I went back and watched it. It's like, oh my God, you can actually see the moment he does. Like his eyes almost like glazed over. It's like, holy crap. It's like, oh, like really scary stuff with some of these guys taking these, you know, really, I mean, that's why it's not fake. I mean, obviously, I mean, these guys are really getting destroyed out there.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I'll never forget him telling me that. That's insane.
So R&B security, you're setting up the Misfits. Obviously, they're more pro New Blood, if you will, or they're just, I mean, they're anti New Blood. They're kind of more pro Millionaires Club, but they're kind of, you know, the Misfits. They're somewhere in the middle. They're kind of by themselves. They're just baby faces.
Yeah.
And obviously, R&B security is just with Russo and Bischoff to help you guys to save you from the Millionaires Club. So that's kind of everything that was set up there. So then we have Canyon. He's got an interview before his match with Mike Awesome. So Mike Awesome basically fights Chris
bro,
Canyon.
you know what I saw? Like, I swear to God, and obviously, bro, now we know the end result with Cannon, man. But I saw something that like freaking broke my heart, and you really wonder how much this had to do with what Canyon did. But remember when Canyon was on Stern and freaking Flair called in? Remember that?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I watched that the other day. It just happened to be on my feed. And I'm like, how could you freaking do that to the guy? You're going to call that guy in front. Stern had millions and millions and millions of listeners back in the day. And you're going to basically tell that guy he sucks and he's not good enough to cut it in the WWE. And I got to tell you, man, Canyon handled it like a freaking pro. But then I'm like, man, how much did that shit affect his mind?
Yeah.
I could not believe, and I don't want to put all the heat on Flair because the WWE was behind it.
Yep.
But oh my God, bro, that was horrible to do to that dude, man. Horrible.
So Canyon and Mike Awesome go to a no contest, 12 minutes. Actually, maybe so far the best match tonight. Very good match, but it goes to a no contest, 12 minutes because Kevin Nash comes out and attacks Mike Awesome. The New Blood comes out. The Millionaires Club come out. Bischoff, Russo and Bischoff Security come out. Huge brawl, like just craziness. But the crowd was going nuts. So the crowd was loving this. It was just like it's a pure chaos.
Yeah, that's what that's what I'm talking about, John. When you every single time you and I sit down and talk about a show, bro, I don't think I ever saw this show back. I probably just saw the show live that night. Every time you talk about a show, 9 times out of 10, I want to go back and watch that show. Compared to what I see on Monday and Thursday nights, where I'm sitting there for 2-3 hours and nothing is happening. Bro, I'd rather have a lot of shit happening. Okay, bro, whether or not it's great wrestling and 5-star wrestling, I'd rather have chaos than nothing happening. I mean, I'm sorry. Like that's the kind of television viewer I am. And it just seems with all these shows, I mean, regardless of how many buys it did or whatever, God, bro, at least there's something happening in the freaking show.
Oh, there's a lot happening. That's for sure. So like that happens. Then we go to a video package of you and Miss Elizabeth, how you basically have taken control of her. You've kidnapped her. You own her now. You have her contract. So a lot of recap of you and Elizabeth, a lot of recap of Luger and Buff. Then we go to the back, and she's looking like $1,000,000. She looks great, but you say in this backstage promo here, you say she's dressed like she's wearing a napkin and that she needs to change. So she disappears. And you think she's going to change, but you're going to find out that she maybe didn't go to go get changed. So that's just an interesting thing that you and Elizabeth, and like we talked about before, you didn't like working with her, huh?
Oh, she hated working with me.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I didn't have a problem with her at all. She just didn't want to do anything, and like I said, bro, they were cutting right and left. And I knew they're not going to continue to pay you just to walk back and forth to the ring. Like I knew it, so it's like I was kind of doing it for her own good, but she didn't understand that.
So the total package, Lex Luger, he's up next. He's going to fight Buff Bagwell. Lex Luger gets the win thanks to Liz. You think she's going to get changed, Vince? She kind of swerved you and goes out there and helps Luger beat Bagwell. He beats him in 9 minutes, 30 seconds. This match was okay. Nothing great, nothing to write home about here. But Luger does get a big win over Buff thanks to Liz. So she did get one over on you. So you think. All of a sudden, Chuck Palumbo comes out wearing the main event fitness, the logo, the Luger logo from his gym, wearing that. Beats the crap out of Luger, and they're like, that's Chuck Palumbo, and he's wearing Luger's gear, and like all that stuff. So obviously she thinks, or they think they got one over on you, and then Chuck Palumbo and Buff end up beating up Luger to get their heat back.
And bro, that's what we're really trying to do. I mean, the whole point and the whole crux of this whole entire thing is trying to pit a new guy with a legend. I mean, that's the whole idea of this whole program. And bro, if there weren't politics, if there wasn't shit with me and Eric and all the shit that happened, bro, you could have ran this thing for years, man. You could have just been running with this thing forever.
It's a good premise. I'll give you that. That's for sure. So Shane Douglas has an interview in the back. Then he comes to the ring and has a promo. So we're getting double Shane Douglas here. Is there a reason behind that? Is it because you couldn't get him to shut up? Is that true?
Yeah,
that you can never get Shane to shut up?
I swear to God, Shane was the absolute freaking best. I mean, I love Shane, man.
I love thinking about like the promos like now that because he obviously cuts him on Flair, Dick Flair and all this stuff about Flair. He's not even kidding. I mean, he's not working. He's shooting.
No, absolutely, 1,000%, 1,000%. Yeah.
So Shane Douglas ends up beating the Nature Boy Ric Flair in 9 minutes, thanks to Buff Bagwell and what we think is a fake Sting, who they keep saying is you. They keep saying it's Russo. He's the fake Sting. So Shane gets the win. And actually, which is funny, remember Flair would say Shane's not that good. This was a damn good match. So if Flair's saying that, maybe he's got to go back and watch him and Shane, because it was actually a good match.
It's just great that they're working together, bro. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great that there is some heat there, but they're professional enough. Yeah, that's awesome, bro. I love that.
So Flair's going to end up getting 5 minutes with Russo, so he thinks it's Russo, right? He says he wants 5 minutes. He gets on the mic. The fake Sting, who is Russo, and Buff Bagwell and Shane. You guys all cheated, and I shouldn't have lost that match. So I want 5 minutes of Russo. You come out for the 5 minutes. Wait, how is Russo out here if he was the fake Sting? I thought he was the fake Sting. It's not. He reveals himself. David Flair. What do you think about that? What do you think about that swerve?
That's very see, this is what I'm talking about, bro. Like, why can't we have some of this today? Just a 10%. Give me 10% of it, man, bro. I was watching a great scene, man. You'll remember this. My God, bro. Even when I go back and watch the Attitude Era, I don't remember these shows, but right. I saw a great scene where the Ministry goes to Vince's house. This is when Taker was doing the stuff with the teddy bear and all that shit, and we didn't know it was about Stephanie, right? So they go to the house and they burn Taker's cross on the lawn and all. But every time you hear Taker, you're just hearing Taker's voice. You're seeing the Ministry and the Brood at Vince's house and stuff. You're just hearing Taker's voice. So, now Vince is desperate. Holy shit, they're at my house. They're waiting for her. This is where you first kind of find out it's his daughter, Yep. Then we do a deal in the ring where, Kane was part of the corporation and somebody, I think it was Triple H, called out Kane. And Kane and Triple H are going at it, and Vince comes to the ring because he's desperate, and he's saying to Kane, screw him, leave him alone. I need your help. You can talk to him. I need your help, because he needs Kane to talk to Taker to call him off, right? Yep. So, Kane grabs Vince and reveals himself, and it was Taker. And all the time, nice. Yes. And I'm like, can we do one thing like that today? Just one freaking thing, man. Does everything have to be a 15-minute 50-50 match? Just give me one freaking angle like that, man.
That was great back then.
Oh, it was so freaking good, man. So good.
So the fake Sting, aka David Flair.
How many matches are on this card, by the way, John?
10.
Okay. They got 4 matches. They got 4 matches booked for Saturday night.
Right. Yeah. It's crazy. I don't know why they do that. It's interesting. They usually do 5 matches, and then if it's a huge pay-per-view, 7. But yeah, I don't know why it's not more.
I have no idea. All right, so go ahead.
So fake Sting obviously is David Flair. You guys all beat up Rick. Kevin Nash comes out, makes a save. Then Daphne comes out and gives a low blow to Nash. So Daphne, David Flair, and you are standing tall over Nash and Flair at the end. Do you like that? You guys
is this the first time I'm with David?
Again, yes.
Yeah, I like it. It's good. I like it. I was a big fan of David,
bro.
Big fan.
But do you think that you three should be standing tall over Flair and Nash? I know you had the bats and you did give them the low blow. Is that crazy?
Yeah. I mean, under the circumstances, yeah.
So then we have a Sting and Vampiro video package, showing the blood and how Vampiro really turned heel, and he turned on Sting and it kind of turned Sting into a completely different guy. Now he's kind of not Undertaker-esque, but almost like he's demonic now. He's like almost like a heel Sting, but he's a babyface. So
yeah,
it's a different version of Sting. Sting ends up defeating Vampiro in 7 minutes. Again, not a bad match, pretty good match for the most part, but just beats him clean with the death drop, and then he even beats up Vampiro after the match. So what do you think about that? He really kind of I don't know. He looks stronger than ever. He just kind of not destroyed Vampiro, but he beat him up twice.
Yeah, well, I'm sure Vampiro has a comeback, man. As long as there's a comeback to
Oh,
protect
the
Vampiro.
feud continues. Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
continues for several months. Yeah.
yeah. God, bro, I was watching Raw the other day, and I forget who it was. It was a top guy. It might have been Double J. Bro, somebody got beat with a DDT. I could not
Whoa.
somebody DDT one. It might have been Jeff. I could not believe somebody got beat with a DDT.
What do you think Jake the Snake and Raven think about today's wrestling? Because the DDT, that was their finish, and everyone used it as like a transition move.
Yeah, I know. It's just terrible, man. It's just bad.
It's weird, some of the moves. Like the pile driver used to be like this great move, and I know WWF or WWE it makes it more impactful, but other promotional AEW and stuff, the pile driver's like nothing. They just hit pile driver and that's it.
I remember the freaking hard punch. Remember the hard punch?
Oh God, yeah, yeah. Ox Baker, then Crush used it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Ox Baker apparently really did, right? It really did.
Yeah.
With
a guy.
You know,
it was one of my favorite moves. I used to love this move. You never see it anymore, bro. I used to love the crucifix. Remember the crucifix?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I used to love that. That move used to look so cool. I never ever see that anymore.
Staple of the British Bulldog. Davey Boy Smith
Yeah.
used to
It was
that,
so. Yeah. I love that move. Yeah.
So Mike today is backstage with DDP and David Arquette talking about the Triple Cage match. Then they have Nash backstage, and he says he's looking for Russo. He wants to chase down Russo. You're in trouble. And then we have Bischoff and Kidman. They have an interview with Tori Wilson, and that's with Mike Tenay there. So kind of, I don't know, interesting with Nash. The Kidman thing kind of is like, come on, Kidman. Yeah, frustrating. But, we've talked about that at length. So next up, Hulk Hogan versus Billy Kidman with Tori Wilson. Eric Bischoff is the special guest referee. Hulk Hogan defeats Kidman with Bischoff as special referee in about 13 minutes, 30 seconds. Again, got to say this was a pretty good match, and I was into it, and the crowd was into it.
That's interesting. That's very, very interesting. See, I would be interested in seeing that match and them work together. That's interesting.
It's interesting because Kidman can bump around and do all this crazy stuff, but also Hogan gets hardcore in this match. He's bleeding, and like it gets pretty good. So wild brawl throughout. Kidman gets put through a table. Eric Bischoff gets put through a table. Horace Hogan comes out, helps Hulk, not helps him win. He helps use Bischoff's hand to count to three because Bischoff said under no circumstances can anybody else count to three but me. Hogan outsmarted him. He has Horace count with the three, but the crowd was really into it, and the blood and the tables. It was like a crazy match.
I bet you, bro, that may have been perhaps. I mean, you tell me. You're much more of a historian than I am, but that might have been the biggest spot in Horace's career. No?
Oh, definitely there for sure. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Interesting.
Halloween Havoc 98, though. Horrible match between Hogan and Warrior. I know the crowd was into it, but horrible match. Horace cheats and helps Hogan beat Warrior. But that might have been his biggest. But that match was terrible.
I wonder whatever happened to that guy. Is he? I mean, I hope he's.
I don't know. I see him like on social media and stuff. If it's really him, he just seems like he's just not involved with wrestling. Wants nothing to do with wrestling. Just seems like a normal guy living in Florida, like 9 to 5 or kind of guy. Bro, it seems like he looks exactly the same. Look,
I was watching some shoot interviews this past week with Brutus Beefcake. God, bro, I didn't know that friendship with him and Hogan led to where it led. I had no idea. I did not know that.
A lot to do with his wife. Beefcake.
Yeah, he said that Hogan hit on his wife right in front of him.
Really? Oh, I didn't know about that. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I think they were Hannibal interviews, but he said Hogan hit on his wife right in front of him.
Damn, that's not good there.
Not good.
But you are outside of the building, and you're basically trying to get Liz. Liz gets saved by Lex, but little do you know, behind you, Nash has been following you the whole time. You then notice, you jump in a car and you drive away, you get scared off, and Nash just pops open a beer and just watches you drive away, like very calmly, like almost like a serial killer. Like, I'll get you eventually.
That's pretty good. That's the typical Kevin. That's pretty good.
Like, you would think like he'd be mad, but his reaction is great. He's like, I'm going to get you eventually. He starts drinking a beer. Yeah.
That's great. That's good.
So then we have a main event video package for Jarrett, Arquette, and DDP in the triple cage. Then
So
we have Jeff.
This is a three-way?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
Then Jarrett's being interviewed in the back by Mean Gene, and we cut to the ring, and Michael Buffer is still there doing the video entrances. So we have the triple cage for the WCW World Title. It's Jeff Jarrett, it's David Arquette, who's the champion, and Diamond Dallas Page.
Now let me get this right. The belt is hanging in that top cage, right?
The third cage, yeah. So you actually have to get yourself through 3 cages and work your way up to the top.
Got you. Okay.
You like that? That's cool.
Yeah, no, listen, this cage was not my idea. Please, let me make that clear. But when I saw it in the movie, I'm like, bro, we got to utilize that cage at some point.
To be honest, the match might be match of the night. I know people might think I'm crazy, but go back and watch because DDP and Jarrett are both, to me, 2 of the best workers in the business.
Yeah.
I love the chemistry together. It's just like they kind of like do innovative stuff like out of nowhere, and like I don't know, they work really, really well together. But then they have like that old school mentality where it's just like a wild Memphis brawl too.
Yeah,
so
that was
I like it.
Jeff, if you watch every Jeff Jarrett match, I swear to God, 99.9% of them, every single one of them, the biggest tool in his toolbox was always fighting through the crowd. Always. Jeff would always fight through the crowd.
Well, here he can't because it's the cage, but he's fighting his way up and whatever. Yeah. It's bloody, it's wild brawl, it's great. So Jeff Jarrett ends up winning the WCW World Heavyweight Championship, 15 minutes and 30 seconds. How that happens, Mike Awesome comes out, he cheats, but not really successfully so far. David Arquette makes his way to the top. DDP tells him, get there. Guess what happens? He takes a guitar shot, nails DDP. DDP is wobbly. Jarrett gets a guitar, nails DDP. Arquette turns heel to help. Jeff Jarrett wins. The ultimate swerve, bro. What do you think here? Why turn Arquette heel? And is this what you want to accomplish, Jarrett, as the champion?
I think it's absolutely awesome, bro. Come on.
You do?
Great.
Okay.
Great stuff, man. I don't know, bro, if people expect me to sit here and say, oh, yeah, bro, my WCW work sucked. bro, just, bro, I will say this alone. I will just say this alone, guys. Listen to this entire show that we just did. Listen to the effort put in.
Right.
That's all I'm going to say. Then look at the effort you get every week on TV. That's all I'm going to say, bro. So whether you liked it or not, that is subjective. You're going to either like it, you're going to love it, or you're going to be somewhere in the middle. The freaking effort, the balls to the wall, the being created, the involving everybody, the trying to get everybody over, the swerves, the curves. Come on, bro. Like, you can, there's no effort like this put in wrestling today, man.
Why turn Arquette heel, though? Is that counterproductive to Ready to Rumble?
I wasn't doing anything based on Ready to Rumble. I told you, bro. I walked out of the theater. I thought that movie was horrible, absolutely right. Horrible. So no, I wasn't thinking about that at all.
Why turn him heel? Just for the swerve, or what was your thought process?
I just thought it was a good story, and it is a good story, bro, because it's like you said, the belt then went to his head. And like all of a sudden, it's like I don't need Page anymore. Like, I mean, it's a good story, and you got a professional actor that's going to be able to pull it off. And again, bro, I'm always looking for the swerve. Bro, the swerve is always going to bring you back. It's always going to bring you back. Bro, think about this. We talked about this at the beginning of the show. Bro, think about what just happened with Cena. Okay? John, all they had to do was this. Cena wins the Elimination Chamber. Okay? All you have to do is, between the Elimination Chamber and WrestleMania, all you have to do is have Cena cut those promos. This might be my last chance ever of being a WWE champion again. Okay? Just have him cut those promos, and he's a babyface, right? Then, bro, you have the match at Mania. Cody's kicking out of everything. Finally, Cena realizes if I don't do something that is so out of my character that I would have never done, this opportunity is going to go by and I'm never, ever going to win this belt again. So literally out of desperation, Cena does something heelish and wins the belt. You're going to sit there and tell me that that story is not a billion times better than the shit that they did on TV? Now everybody's tuning in. Now that's the story Cena's telling. This was, I told you all along, this was my last opportunity, and I was going to do whatever I had to do. And even though Rock says, I don't know if you know this or not, John, you probably do. I know you know, this is what you do. But Rock said prior to WrestleMania, Ari called him and said, we're not selling tickets. And that's when Rock came up with the idea of Cena turning heel to sell tickets. But my God, can you imagine, bro, you know, they just celebrated Brett and Austin in that match.
Yep.
Can you imagine, bro, if Vince were still there and you had Vince and you had Pat Patterson and you had John Cena and you had Cody? Can you imagine the masterpiece these guys would have laid out to tell that freaking story? And you know how easy it is to understand that story. And bro, we can all relate to that. Like in a moment of desperation, we all do things that are not within our character. It's so freaking simple. But my God, bro, they convoluted it to the point of like their fan base literally turning against them. And it's like, bro, if you want to look back on these WCW shows and freaking criticize these shows and put over what you're seeing today, then you have no idea what wrestling is. You have no idea why wrestling was doing the numbers it was doing back then. You don't care about wrestling. All you want are freaking matches. John, do you know at WrestleMania, right? I didn't realize it till after the fact. Bro, I'm sitting there and these entrances are killing me. They're killing me, John. They go on forever. John, do you know in 2 days, there was not one backstage interview? Not
wow,
one.
I didn't even realize that.
Not
Wow,
one,
weird.
John.
I didn't notice that. Wow. I should have thought about that. Yeah.
That is what I'm talking about. Bro, you can't have any less effort than that. Look at the stories, what the pay-per-view we laid out. Look at the stories happening in the back throughout the entire show. Bro, they didn't bother to have one interviewer with one wrestler in 2 days. And you're going to tell me you appreciate this stuff today than the shows we put on back then? Bro, then to me, you're an absolute mark. If you think today is better entertainment than you were getting back then, I don't even know what to tell you.
All right, here's where Slamboree 2000 takes a turn for the worse. And this is probably, I don't even know if you remember this, but this is why you got so much heat for this show. And this is why people really kind of turned on this show. So after the match, Jarrett's the world champion. Mike Awesome is still out there because he was trying to help Jarrett. He kind of didn't succeed 100%. So Arquette was like the final, the final piece of the puzzle for Jarrett. So great mastermind, quote unquote, Jarrett is here to be the world champion. Mike Awesome, Canyon comes out because that's DDP's buddy to make the save. Mike Awesome power bombs him off the second deck of the cage onto the entranceway, and they're like, "Oh my God!" And they think he's paralyzed or whatever, and that's how the show ends with him down, destroyed, possibly broken neck, possibly broken back. Mike Awesome, Jarrett, and Arquette are celebrating to end. So here's the crazy part. This is Kemper Arena where Owen Hart died a year earlier.
Bro, I did not even. Bro, I remember at the beginning of the show you said the Kemper Arena. Bro, that's not even a freaking thought in my freaking mind. And bro, I could tell you this too. We definitely wanted to utilize the cage. I remember, bro, Canyon fought for that. That was something that Chris Canyon really, really, really wanted to do. And bro, I got to tell you something, man. All the years in wrestling, when you got a guy that's a canyon who was probably the nicest, him and Owen, to be honest with you, were probably the two nicest guys I ever worked with.
Wow.
When they want to freaking do something and like have their heart set on it, you let them do it. And that was Canyon's spot. You know, they worked all that out before the show and whatnot. Bro, to this day, I didn't even put 2 and 2 together with Owen.
Wow, yeah. So people, I mean, still to this day, furious because of that. And here's the double kicker on that. May 7th to 2000, but May 7th, just in general, is Owen Hart's birthday. So people even throw that in there too. And they like double heat for that. Yeah.
Well, see, that's people just freaking reaching, bro. Like I didn't even make that connection till now. How many years later is this?
25.
Okay, there you go.
So would you consider this pay-per-view like thumbs up, thumbs down?
Bro,
like,
I always, every time we do these, John, I always want to go back and watch the pay-per-view.
Right, yeah.
If I want to watch the pay-per-view, it's a thumbs up. Okay. If we would have done this show and you would have laid out Monday's Raw to me, okay, I'm not going to go back and watch it. I have no interest whatsoever in going to back and watch it. When you lay this show out to me and all the elements of this show, it is worth my time watching this show. So that's a thumbs up.
All right, Vince, I don't want to end it on a somber note with the Canyon and the Owen stuff. So I have this picture ready. I don't know if you've ever seen this picture before. Arguably my favorite picture of all time. Usually created this picture via AI. He basically, you know,
was he drunk when he created it?
Yeah, 100%. Yes. So what he did,
I got to put my glasses on for this. Go ahead, John.
So what he did was Russo's retired, right? He thinks wrestling stinks. So this is what AI came up with.
That's awesome. I love that. Look at me, bro. Very nice. Very nice.
Is that the greatest? I'll put it up again.
I love AI. John.